What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show, guys. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to join me for the show. I did a little silly report earlier today on MSNBC and their absolutely ridiculous news segment comparing COVID-19 to Biggie Smalls and the beef that Biggie Smalls had on the streets in comparison to what you will experience with COVID-19 if you don't get the vaccination. But the big news today is the same as it was yesterday, and for good reason. I mean, to say this is like a story that I'm just so bored of talking about Afghanistan. It's over. As Biden said in an interview when he was pressed about people falling from airplanes, committing suicide essentially in order to for a small chance at saving their own lives. He said, well, that was 2-3 days ago. That was 4 or 5 days ago. As if that's like, okay. Hey, my mom committed suicide 2 days ago, but that was 2 days ago. It's fine. Jeez. Joe Biden, the most empathetic being in the history of mankind. He's Uncle Joe. He's Grandpa Joe. He's the guy you want to hang out with. You go on Instagram, you go on any of these other sites and type in on the GIFs that you can plug into your pictures. It shows Joe. It's just this down-to-earth, cool guy. He'll get ice cream with you and he'll hang out with you. But yet, if you commit suicide off an airplane and it's more than 2-3 days, 4 or 5 days, well, depending how many naps he's had of the day, then your story is done with. But that's kind of a precursor of how our news is anyways, isn't it? If it happened yesterday or the day before or a couple weeks ago or a month ago or a year ago, the way our culture is that that was yesterday. We're moving on to what's going on today. I'm all about progression. I'm about seeing what the future holds more than caring about an individual's. It's like me when I wake up every Monday morning, I read how many people were shot and killed in Chicago. That was last weekend. Who cares? We got to get these guns off the streets. It's not these gangs that are committing the murder. It's the guns itself. But that's kind of our culture is today, is that we don't reflect on the past. We don't look at history. We don't look for history to teach us what is to come in the future as well, which is really sad to see. Because if you don't know history, it tends to repeat itself, doesn't it? But it comes up in different forms. It doesn't necessarily look the same. Let's go through some of the news. Exclusive coming from Daily Mail. Americans blame Biden, not Trump, for Afghanistan debacle. You're only an idiot if you blame Trump. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Trump is not in office. Trump is not the president. Yes, Trump started the peace deal with Taliban, but we have no idea what that would have looked like carrying out. We don't know all the information. All these people are just assuming, I assume it was going to look like this. I can tell you one thing. The Taliban wouldn't be running Kabul as they are right now, not allowing people to go to the airports and stuff like that. We're getting more information and more reports coming out right now as Taliban are intensifying their search for Afghans who helped the United States. This has come from Daily Wire and New York Times. And they have a list of people they intend to question and punish. Hey, it's just Taliban being Taliban. It's like China. They just have Uyghur. They're doing, they do things differently than us. Like, right, Joe? They're just different. They're just different cultures. We don't need to, dictate how cultures react or how they are. We'll just allow them to do and say whatever we want, whatever they want, as long as they keep producing our goods for us. This development seems to complicate assurances from Biden administration that says Taliban are somewhat reformed. And you're hearing that from the Biden administration is the Taliban are actually allowing us to go to the airport, which is not true. And I'll get to a video earlier that just came out not too long ago and more information as well. George Stephanopoulos on Wednesday night, New York Times reported Thursday appears to confirm that little has changed. Biden said, I think they're going through some sort of existential crisis about do they want to be recognized by the international community as being a legitimate government, and I'm sure they do. What kind of silly argument is that? Who cares if they want to be legitimate? At one time, Hitler wanted to be legitimate and in charge of everything and be recognized and stuff. It doesn't mean that you're still not an evil organization, an evil regime that wants to put a Sharia law. I thought you guys were all about LGBTQ rights and women's rights and stuff like that. Of course you're not. Of course you're just like this corporate media. We just wink and nod and we just say, yeah, I'm for women's rights. You still gonna buy our stuff? Good, thank you. We'll take your stuff. Hey, we'll put up the LGBTQ flag during Pride Month in all areas that it's free to talk about it, except for the areas that it's not. But we're all about the people, man. We're not about money. Yeah, the Taliban are going through an existential crisis. Give me a break. These are radical, religious people that have a bent to make the world under Sharia law, that want everyone to be Muslim and will force their way into it because it's all about giving God praise through force for them. This is coming. Taliban militants are intensifying a search for people they believe to have worked with U.S. and NATO forces, including among the crowds of Afghans at Kabal's airport, and have threatened to kill or arrest their family members if they cannot find them, according to a confidential UN document, the Times said Thursday. The document from a UN threat assessment advisor directly contradicted the militant group's public assurances that it would not seek revenge on members and supporters of the toppled government. I don't know where that news voice of the toppled government. This is like such a pipe dream to say that the Taliban, you know, they've changed their ways. They went through an existential crisis. They're coming into their own. We need to allow them to prove themselves to us. We know these people. God. Jeez. It's unreal. It's like, you know, the Nazis really messed up in Germany. I know this is such an easy comparison. The Nazis really messed up in Germany, but let's try them out in Argentina. See how that goes. See if anything changes. Allow them to live it out. Operation Paperclip. We'll let it all happen. Just so stupid. They're going to be the same people. They're the same people today, tomorrow, and then yesterday. More reports coming out. The Taliban are going door to door, taking women and children. The people must be marked their house with an X if they have a girl over 12 years old, so the Taliban can come take them. If they find a young girl and the house was not marked, they will execute the entire family. If a married woman 25 years or older has been found, the Taliban will promptly kill her husband and do whatever they want with her to sell her as a sex slave. Husbands and fathers have given their wives and daughters guns and told them that when the Taliban come, they can choose to kill them or kill themselves. It is their choice. What is there? We're still figuring out if they're good people. We're just going to allow it to go down. And we're allowing our American citizens just to get locked out of going to the airports. As you're seeing reports now today of that, the people that are dictating allowing people to come into the airport they're not just freely allowing people to come in and out. That they are the ones dictating who goes in and who goes out. So who are we bringing into this country? Because we have so many American citizens that aren't given the right. I mean, I made a little post earlier on a tweet saying that, like, if you think that the American government gives a crap about American citizens compared to illegal immigrants or immigrants in general, refugees, then you're lying to yourself. Actions speak louder than words. The border crisis, they don't care about it. They're just allowing it to happen as they transport people everywhere, and they tell you there's a COVID pandemic, and there's a new spike. Yes, 1.2 million illegal immigrants came across the border, and potentially lots of them had COVID. We don't know for sure, and they weren't forced to be vaccinated. Instead, they're forcing you to be vaccinated or to have the key to freedom in this city. I am not saying that. I'm not against taking refugees. I'm a huge advocate for refugees, real refugees, ones that helped us, ones that are seeking shelter from war. But to say that American citizens don't get precedent when it comes from the government, yeah, my heart, you know, like the empathetic side of me is like, just allow anyone. But the rational side of me is like, you would want You would think they would come and free Americans first. And this is coming from CNBC, which, you know, I love. You love to hear it. You really do. Let's get this. Let's get this going. All right. Make sure my sound is working. Perfect. Let's hear from CNBC.
But it's a much different scene outside the airport where the Taliban is in control. A top State Department official says the Taliban is breaking its promise and blocking Afghans from reaching the airport. This is new video of a Taliban fighter whipping Afghans as they wait outside the airport. As many as 15,000 Americans are still in the capital, and the U.S. Embassy is warning it cannot ensure safe passage to the airport. But it's a much different...
Oh no, they're breaking their promise. Why are you... What? And Pentagon was pressed today on why British paratroopers are leaving Kabul airport to rescue citizens, but Americans aren't. The British are saving and going after their citizens, and we're doing nothing. Oh yeah, this is Trump's fault. What's the answer? The answer is that we should go in and save all our citizens. If our goal is to not be in the region, we should at least go after and get and save our citizens first. Instead of just going, well, screw it. I'm sorry. We tried. I know this whole thing just kind of collapsed on end, and we chose the worst airport to, you know, be a part of, and instead of securing the airbase that we already had, you know, we're doing our best. I know Britain is going above and beyond, but God, we're strapped. We're strapped. As Afghan is took all our weapons we left behind, drones, armored vehicles, stuff to take flight and take to the skies with. No problems here. You know, the conspiracy theorist in me makes me think that, was this all a plan? Was this all part of a ploy? Was this all the goal in order to create more chaos? Maybe to go back to war. Or maybe, screw it. We came and did what we wanted to do in Afghanistan. As Julian Assange and WikiLeaks founder said, that Afghanistan wasn't about reaching victory of any sort. It was just about a forever war in order to exchange money under the table. And maybe they're done with exchanging money. Or maybe that was just Julian Assange lying. I don't know. All I know is nothing makes sense anymore. And not only that, I am devastated for our military community. More than I ever have before. Maybe it's just because it's my generation and it's something I grew up. The Afghan war is something I've grown up being like listening about and hearing about and knew why we got into it. I remember seeing what happened on September 11th. I was in school at the time and I saw it happening, and it was just devastating. And I knew the reasons, well, at least I thought I knew the reasons of why we went over there. But my heart breaks for the military community that went over there, lost friends, lost loved ones, lost relatives, lost husbands, wives, and even more so in some ways, the people that have lost legs, limbs, can't walk anymore. Any kind of being disabled in any kind due to the war efforts. They have to live with that the rest of their lives as they watch everything they worked for. They gave up their body for just crumble. Because, we got to get out. We got to get out of there. Who cares? Aren't you glad we're out? How do you tell someone that's lost, that can't walk anymore, hey, the mission was a success. Relax. I know it's a disaster and you're seeing that on the media right now, but don't listen to that. How do you say that to somebody? How do you look someone in the eye and say, it was a success, when everything you're reading about and everything you're seeing doesn't point to that? Points to not success or failure. It just points to what was the point. What was the point? I mean, obviously the point wasn't to get rid of the Taliban. Because if that was the point, then we failed, right? Because they're still alive and well and secure of the whole nation. And right now, Russia and China and Iran, or all our favorite characters, are coming together to be a part of this new regime and see what they can take out from the regime and see what they can extract from them in any capacity, which is weird. You would think that the Taliban wouldn't want to work with the Chinese, knowing maybe they don't know about the Uyghur Muslim camps. Maybe they don't know. Or maybe they're just like, we don't care. Those are a different kind of Muslim we don't subscribe to. This world is crazy. And where is Biden? He's taking more naps. Apparently, he is on vacation. He just went back to vacation, and apparently he's going to Delaware for the weekend because he can't sleep right now. You wanted to be president, remember? It's unreal when you see the media is not even on his side anymore as much. It's almost like they're done with him. And also, they're done with Kamala, because where the frick is she? If the vice president on vacation, you think she would be stepping up to the plate. In fact, I know that she wants to be president anyways. Wouldn't that be a great opportunity to step up to the plate and show how great of a passionate leader you are, Kamala? But instead, you're also joining the putting a cap on everything. I got to hide out. I got to figure out what's going on. We're not talking about racist things anymore, and so I don't know what to say. We're actually talking about real suffering now, and now I don't have a narrative to push. I don't have an agenda to talk about. I don't know what to say now because it's not what I got elected to. We can't talk about Trump anymore. The media knows. They found out. Jen Psaki did what any press secretary who's doesn't want to face the music would do. And she's a victim. She's a product of our culture. I don't want to have a hard conversation. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to have a hard conversation. Don't make me just talk about these things. I just want to go to my job and I want to watch some sports and maybe drink a beer, and that's it. Don't stress me out about the real harshness of life. Well, let's leave today's segment on with something that made me laugh. Canadian soldier faces jail time over. I'm sorry if you're watching. Canadian soldier faces jail time over feeding cannabis cupcakes to troops. Apparently, they were going to the gun range to shoot, and they were like, "I feel weird, man." What an idiot. I can't tell if this is a lie. You know, it's like they all decided to get high and go shoot ammo and because they thought it was fun. They're like, hey, it's legal. Give us a break. And he's like, all right, if we get caught, I'll take the blame. You guys will be just fine. I'll just say I drugged you. I feel like that's probably more likely of what happened. But this guy is going to face up to 5 years in prison. So the moral of the story is, folks, don't drug people who don't want to be drugged, and don't engage in wars. You have no idea why you're there. Oy. Oy vey. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Derek O'Shea Show. I hope I brought some kind of joy to you today with some of the videos I did. I hope I made you laugh. I'm just going to keep repeating this until the cows come home. God, they're so far away. We're all sentenced to death. Therefore, enjoy your life. Live it how you want to live it. Don't live it how somebody else thinks you should live. But live it to the best ability because we are all going to die. Oh. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. And I'm just so effing sick of politicians and how they just do not give a crap about the average human being. And they care more about the narrative, more about the optics than they do actually about you. The politicians that do well in this country tend to be the ones that have a track record of speaking to the public, not over the public. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next episode of the Derek O'Shea Show.